I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Today we're reading from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, so let's focus on verses 39 and 40. Today, recognize and keep in mind that the Lord is God in heaven above and on earth below. There is no other. Keep His statutes and commands, which I am giving you today, so that you and your children after you may prosper, and so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you for all time. Deuteronomy 4, verses 39 and 40. The fifth commandment is the only commandment with a direct promise. Honor your father and mother, and you will live long in the land that the Lord has given to you. It almost stands alone among the other commandments, like a bookend without its mate. And to me, the fifth commandment always seemed void of the responsibility of parents. That is, how can children honor their parents unless the parents train them up rightly? And I often wonder why the fifth commandment didn't say, parents, teach your children well, and children, honor your parents by obeying them. Well, if the fifth commandment needs another bookend to complete the set, then that bookend is found in today's verse. God is saying that when parents keep His statutes and commands, their children will follow. He uses the words "so that," which conveys cause and effect. Notice how God isn't directing the parents to simply relay His standard by mere words. He wants parents to live His statutes and commands. Have you ever heard the saying, "Do as I say and not as I do"? Well, many parents will take their kids to church and tell them to honor God, but all the while those same parents pursue worldly things. And a parent wonders why their kids won't seek the Lord. I say it often, but problems in families of believers are not necessarily ones concerning the lack of biblical information. A lot of kids grow up in Christian school only to grow up and then depart from the Lord. Problems concern the lack of value for the Bible, not just lack of biblical information. So few of us really have a hard time understanding what the Bible says. I mean, it's in English, right? No matter what you speak, there's probably a Bible translation in your language. We understand all the words, so we don't have a problem understanding what the Bible says. Number one, we have a problem reading the Bible. Nobody wants to. But for those of us who read it, the problem is not in understanding, but in doing what the Bible tells us. A parent/hypocrite is the worst enemy of the next generation. The fifth commandment assumes parents are modeling God's standard, thus the responsibility is now on the children to follow suit. It also makes a profound statement that even if your parents dishonor you and the Lord by withholding from you the value of following God, well, it's still incumbent upon you to honor Him independently and independent of the quality of parenting that you received. And in doing so, in honoring God, even though your parents didn't, well, then you honor your parents by covering their failings. God honors that kind of humility. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Check us out at groundworksministries.com.